Welcome back to our F1 2020 Ferrari Return to Glory career mode, and well, hopefully there will be a career mode to continue here then, because we're about to try and get a new contract here then with the team. Obviously heading into the second half of the season now, then things not going too badly, so hopefully we will be able to get a new contract here then.
Great.
And it looks like we are going to be able to negotiate here then. We've been going with the medium offer for all of them so far, so we're just going to do that one again here then, and hopefully they'll be happy with that, and they are indeed then. So yeah, we're signed on then for the second half of the season, and I've got some more money now then to spend somewhere, and none of these were really appealing to me that much except for the development feedback, so went with that then. So going to get even more of a boost now then for R&D, which is good. Here's how the standings look then going into this race. We're 32.7 behind Charles, but yeah, still 8 races to go then. So we may well still have a chance in drivers. We certainly want to keep things going in the constructors, because we're holding the lead at the moment then. And we can now finally get that control electronics upgrade on the car then. And I think if we get that on the car then, we're looking pretty good now, because obviously if you saw the last racing, you'll have seen that we took some new engine parts because we qualified way down the field, so we took advantage of that and it ended up paying off for us quite nicely there. So hopefully now we should be okay for the rest of the season then, as we head into the Hungarian Grand Prix. And here's how the development race is looking then. Mercedes then have taken another step this weekend, so yeah, they waited a long time then this season to actually make any upgrades, but now they're starting to get things going and starting to pull away again a bit. Still looking quite close here between Red Bull, Ferrari and Racing Point, and we've got yet another dry weekend then, so yeah, 2 whole races in a row where we're not going to have rain affecting things incredibly in this series. But yeah, we've not raced at Hungary yet in this series, because we didn't race here in season 1, so this is going to be completely new for us then. We don't really know what to expect from the race here, so yeah, it's going to be a bit of an unknown here, as we got some more resource points there in practice. I'm going to use that now then to get another upgrade on the car. Obviously after the summer break we've got Spa and then Monza, so yeah, we're going to just work on the engine now then, try and get another upgrade on that. So obviously we're still playing a bit of catch up here, but we're starting to really get back up to where we should be. Heading into qualifying now then for the Hungarian Grand Prix, and hopefully we can have a good result here then, because it is quite difficult to overtake around this track, so we want to be as high up the grid as possible. And we certainly do not need a repeat of last time out then, where we couldn't even make out of Q1. That was really terrible. I still don't really fully understand how it happened, but yeah, it did, and we need to certainly avoid a repeat of that this weekend then, as we are in Q1 now then. And car was feeling okay here, so I was hopeful that we would be able to get through. We're a few tenths shy then of Charles there with our first lap time, and it was actually a bit tighter than I thought it was going to be there. We were 14th in the end, so we're pushing our luck once again, and Charles was only 7th in that session. Things certainly not going well for a McLaren at the moment then. Lando only just scraped through there in 15th, but Carlos Sainz there dropping out in Q1, so that's a bit of a surprise. The 2 Haas's then both get through, which I think is for the first time this season there, so they're really starting to make some progress. On to Q2 now then, and hopefully we can find a bit more pace then, because if not then we could be at risk of getting knocked out in this session, as this was a better lap though than our Q1 time, so I was hoping that it would maybe be good enough here then. We go second then, but we're still quite a way off of Hamilton there, and then I saw Magnussen set a crazy lap time there to go 4th, so that was making me really paranoid here that I'd have to go out again here, despite the fact that I was in 5th place. So yeah, we're out again then, and we're just under a 10th up then on this second run, so hopefully it should be able to consolidate our place then in the top 10 shootout. I don't think there's anyone who can actually knock us out now then, looking at the map. I think the last car is just cross line, so we should be okay then, but we are going to still finish this lap anyway then to see what our pace is looking like. And yeah, we said 13.3 there, and we are through there in 7th position, so yeah, that was good. Then we're back in the top 10, which is really where we should be, and hopefully we can, still get a good result then on the grid. It's just a crazy lot there from Magnussen. Grosjean in the other Haas there, only 15th, and then got the 2 Renaults dropped out in that session along with Fiat and Norris there. on to Q3 now then, and on his first lap we're on a used set of tyres because yeah, we just only had the fresh set for Q3 left then of the fresh sets, and this initial lap then really wasn't too great at all then. As you saw there, through a chicane, completely got it wrong there, lining up the rear tyres, and then again actually in the penultimate corner. So yeah, this was a really scrappy lap, and yeah, I was sort of really relying now then on the fresh run right at the end of the session. I was going set at 13.8 there to go 7th, and we got bumped down to 8th eventually. So yeah, we want to be making a big improvement then on this final run. And yeah, in sector 1 then we're already starting to make up a little bit of time, but it's really later on in the lap where we messed up the last time then. Into chicane I was a bit cautious that time, but it paid off I guess because we did at least improve, and we continue to improve them through the second sector. I seem to be a lot stronger in sector 2 than a lot of the others. I noticed I was saying quite a few purple sectors during qualifying there in the second sector, but anyway then we're on for an improvement here then. We've got the penultimate corner right this time, and around the final corner then we're on for half a second improvement here then to the line, and it's going to put us 6th place then on the grid. So slightly disappointing, but still it's it's not too bad there. We can do something from there at least. It does seem that maybe as a team we weren't really with Mercedes and Red Bull this weekend then, as we've got Hamilton on pole, then Verstappen then splits the two Mercedes in second, and yeah, Bottas obviously then in third with our teammate alongside him on the second row there. And yeah, that means then that Bottas once again gets some points over us in the rivalry, which is a bit annoying, but yeah, I think we just need to hope that things go a bit better for us in the race, because yeah, he's really starting to pull away already then after only, well, not even 2 races yet. We do at least gain some acclaim there though, and yeah, as we saw before then, the race is going to be dry, so yeah, there's not going to be any kind of like unexpected weather then to play a part in this one then, so hopefully just we can have better race pace, which is usually what we do, and that can put us up the field a bit then. Overtaking will be a bit difficult, but hopefully we'll be able to make some moves then, and hopefully the strategy will be good as well then. We'll see what we can do then as we now head into the Hungarian Grand Prix.
Welcome to Budapest once again for another round of the Formula One World Championship. Historically a good race for first victories, with Button, Hill, Alonso and Heikki Kovalainen all reaching the top step of the podium for the first time here. Located 12 miles northeast of the Hungarian capital Budapest, the 14 corners of the Hungaro Ring are steeped in history and prestige. Overtaking has always been difficult on this technical 2.7-mile circuit, but the last few years in particular have turned up some exceptional races. Let's hope we're in for another one here today. With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Leclerc, Sergio Perez, the scientist, Albon, Stroll, Gasly and Kevin Magnussen, Norris, Ricciardo, Roman Grosjean and Giovinazzi, Sainz, Russell, Kimi Raikkonen and Nicholas Latifi. Ocon and Daniel Kvyat completes the grid. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
It's a 2-stop strategy then for this race. Tyre wear is quite high around here, so I guess that's why the team have decided on that then. It does look like the soft tyres are projected to drop off very quickly then from the start. Obviously we are on a used set then from qualifying, so yeah, we'll be in very early then on lap 6, and then doing 2 medium stints to the end of the race, so hopefully that'll work out for us then. I imagine there'll be some cars maybe further back trying to one-stop, so we'll have to watch out for them as well then, and yeah, hopefully they won't interfere with us too much then. Although I did check the strategy and most of the field actually did start here on soft tyres. There's only a few who went for mediums and a bit further back outside the top 10, so we'll see then if they play a part at all. Yeah, but we'll see what we can do then. From 6th on the grid, we're in not too bad a position I guess, and yeah, we'll see if we can make any moves then on this first lap, and that will really put us in a good position then for the rest of the race. We're lined up now then on the grid, and the lights are coming on now. Away we go, and it's well, not the best start there, but yeah, we're on the dirtier side side of the track there, so I guess not unexpected. We're still on the inside line for turn 1, so if we're confident on the brakes here we may get a move done here, and we are passing Perez then into the first corner, so we did still manage to make up a place there, so it's a good start for us. I think everyone on the right hand side of the grid in fact had good starts there and just managed to use the inside line to their advantage there and gain a place on those on the left hand side, because Leclerc's made a move there and so has Verstappen up at the front there to take the lead of the race. So yeah, I think all the even number starters there just managed to make it work then into turn 1, and yeah, we've made a place then up into 5th position, and yeah, that was pretty much as good as we could have hoped for there. I think we see a replay then of the start. Obviously it's Hamilton that led away from pole, but it was Verstappen that ended up in the lead there. And yeah, just our initial start wasn't too great, but I think we just managed to gain it back on the brakes there then. Yeah, a lot of those cars on the left hand side didn't really try and cover the inside line, so yeah, that made it a lot easier then for those on the right there to actually make the moves done into the first corner then. As we see it on board for Leclerc, who had a better start than us there, so it was a lot easier for him to make the move on Bottas there and then get himself up into the podium positions there. And then Verstappen actually had a very good launch there from second position, and he was straight past Hamilton there, and then he had the inside line to help him maintain that position there into the first corner. Hamilton did fight back there, but Verstappen managed to hold on and take the lead there. As we now skip to lap 4 then, where we are still on the back of Bottas here, but he's dropping back from the top 3, so really we want to try and pass him if we can here, because we're starting to get a little bit cut adrift here, and I did feel that my pace here was good enough to stick with that front group, but we just couldn't really because we had Bottas in the way a bit. I'd had DRS here, but I just couldn't get close enough here to actually make the move stick, and it's quite frustrating really, because that's really one of the only places there where you can actually overtake. There is a second DRS zone here, but it's just a little bit too short to really get close enough to him there, even though we did close up again. We just again a little bit frustrated here then, stuck on the back of him and watching the top 3 pull away. I was using overtake here then to see if I could maybe ambush him up into turn 4, but once again just the straight was a little bit too short there to get the move done, and then just the rest of the lap you're just following in the dirt. There's just no chance to make any moves there unfortunately. As we skip to lap 6 now then, we're already getting called in for our first pit stop, so maybe that will get us out of the way then of Bottas, but yet we just still cannot close up to the back, and then already 2.5 seconds behind our teammate, which is quite frustrating at this stage then, because I did feel that I could have stuck with him there if I was in some clear air. But we do pit them before Bottas, so hopefully we can use this to our advantage here then as we come into the pits. Then maybe a little bit too cautious there on the entry, but I guess rather that than the speed, I guess. And I think we may well have just blocked Hamilton there a bit as well as he was coming out of the pits. Out of the pits we come then, I think we may have actually been a little bit blocked as well there by the AlphaTauri, but still was a decent stop there, and hopefully now then we'll have a bit of an undercut. We're actually going to be behind the back of the pack then, so we are in a little bit of clean air here, and Hamilton interestingly wasn't, so it may well work out for us, but for Hamilton he may well struggle a bit there then, because he's right on the back of some of the cars right at the back of the field here then. So I've had a lap here where I've had pretty much clear air here, and that's allowed me to catch right up to Hamilton, and in fact we have jumped Bottas and in the pits as a lot of the other soft runners pitted there, and Leclerc has jumped Hamilton, so the undercut worked for me, but it didn't work at all for Hamilton, and it was all because of just where we were on the track really, in terms of being released into traffic. And yeah, and this could well be a problem then, because we got some cars here on mediums that are going longer. Got Russell, Kvyat here then, and we're on the back then of Hamilton. In fact, Hamilton's just left the door open there, so we're going to go for it up the inside into the first corner, and we're through then past the Mercedes driver, and once again then the race is starting to slip away from the Mercedes team, it's looking like here, as I was getting a bit worried there, thinking that we'd be stuck in a train, but I guess just Hamilton then left the door open there. He didn't go for the move on Kvyat, and that just allowed me to just sail up the inside there then into the first corner, and through went then into what was 10th position I think, or 9th place there. And now we're on the back of Kvyat then. We'll see if we can maybe do the same thing here then, if he doesn't try and make the move on Russell. As we head down towards turn 1, we're a little bit further back this time I think, but still we managed to do the same thing again then, because Kvyat left the door open. and that just allowed us to go through, and it also allowed Hamilton to get through as well there then on the exit. And yep, just George Russell now then in the way, but you can see then the effect that having, well, it's had that we've been stuck in this train, because we're already 5.5 seconds then behind Leclerc. And yeah, we really need to just clear those Williams then as quickly as possible. And in fact, running outside of 10.5 here, we just had so much more grip on these fresher tyres, and we should be able to outbrake him here into the chicane running outside. You don't often see overtakes there, but we just had so much fresher tyres and obviously a much better car there, and we managed to make it stick then. Here's a replay of that first move then on Kvyat up the inside, and then this was the second one then. And yeah, just so much more tyre life, just much better car as well then, and we managed to make it stick then on George Russell there into the chicane. We see it on board then, and yeah, you can just see the difference in grip there then, as we just easily drove around the outside then, and then even on the outside line we're much more confident on the brakes. A little bit of contact there with Russell, but nothing to worry about there. But the good news though was that even though we lost a lot of time there to Verstappen and Leclerc, they were also they also caught up to a train then of other cars that were on medium tyres here then. It's actually Lando Norris then that leads the race here, which is very surprising given that McLaren have really struggled this weekend. And then we've got Romain Grosjean in second place, who's holding up quite a train of cars here then. And yeah, well, these were all medium tyre runners then who have stayed out. And well, Verstappen and Leclerc just got stuck in his train as well then. Interestingly, Verstappen is on hard tyres, so he could well be on a different strategy here to me and Charles, and also the two Mercedes drivers here. And if he is going long into this race, then this could actually be, in a way, working in his favour then, because it does mean that all of his closest rivals are also just stuck in this train behind him. So that could actually work out quite nicely there for Verstappen. Some of these medium tyre runners do now start to pit here then. It's only Ocon, I think, who has stayed out there then from this group, and obviously he started, I think, in last place, or at least on the back row then, because of engine penalties. So yeah, I don't think he would have been expecting to be leading today then, but he is for the time being, although obviously he does now pit. And it's almost like a safety car restart here then, as the that last car then peels off into the pit lane, and we have the leaders then back racing here then, almost on lap 18, just past halfway now then, or at least we're just about to reach halfway then. And it's Verstappen in the lead, but he could well be in a good position then, because of what I was saying there with the hard tyres, and managing to keep all of us behind whilst we're on mediums here, as we do now get called into pit on lap 20. But yeah, none of us could pass Verstappen then, either in the train or, well, after the train. So yeah, he could well be in a good position here then, but depending on if he pits again or not. We now pit then for our second stop, so does Hamilton behind us here. So we're on a fresh set of mediums. We'll see then how we do then compared to Leclerc here, because this could allow us to undercut him in the pits here then, potentially Verstappen as well if he does pit again. So we could still be in a good position here then as we come out of the pits. Unfortunately though, we have still ended up behind Grosjean and Ocon here, so that just goes to show how slow Verstappen was on the hard tyres, that Grosjean and Ocon have gone on fresh tyres, and they're actually quicker then, or around about the same pace here. And yeah, we have not been able to jump them, which is very frustrating then, because that's going to ruin any plans of an undercut on our teammate here then, who is now in the pits, as we try and pass Ocon here, rounding outside into the final corner. Couldn't quite manage that then. We have got DRS now though, but so does Ocon then, so it's going to be a bit of a drag race here towards turn 1, and Leclerc has indeed re-emerged in front of us then, as we get the move done then on the Renault driver and get ourselves back up into 7th position. But yeah, that undercut attempt then has failed, because Leclerc has come out in front of us in this race, and it's just so frustrating because we're stuck in behind Grosjean now, and we're just watching that gap to our teammate just get bigger and bigger by the corner basically, and it's almost nearly 3 seconds and just by the end of this lap here, as we're stuck behind the Haas of Romain Grosjean. In fact, this is how much quicker we are then. We just managed to drive around the outside in the final corner there, and well, we reached the DRS zone. We didn't even need it in the end, because we got it done in the final corner. And yeah, we're making some rather unconventional overtakes here then, but it just goes to show the difference in both tyre life and car performance there then, as we got the move done. And we now catch back up to Charles then, because he's once again getting held up. This time it's by Lando Norris then in the McLaren, who is on for a very good result in what has been a very bad weekend then for his team so far. But obviously me and Charles want to try and get past if we can, because it's looking like Verstappen isn't pitting again, and neither is his teammate Alexander Albon by the looks of things. It's looking like Red Bull may well have sneaked a 1-2 here out of nowhere. But yeah, this is why me and Charles need to get a move on here then. That's why Leclerc has made the move this time on Norris, running outside into turn 1. It looks like he's got it done this time. Can we ambush Norris here then whilst he's recovering from that? Yes, we can, up the inside into turn 2, and that is some nice team play there from us there to both get through there on Lando Norris there into turns 1 and 2, and we can now go after Stroll and hopefully do the same thing here then, as we see then the move from Leclerc running outside in turn 1, and then just into turn 2 we also managed to get it done as well. Then we see it on board, and of course we are going to milk this one then, this little team overtake here then, as yeah, Norris then put a bit of a fight here into the first corner, but just with the fresher tyres on the Ferrari there was really no chance he was going to be able to hold on there. And then obviously both of us had DRS because we were behind in the detection point at the end of the lap there, so yeah, there was really no chance of him putting up much of a fight. As we get now then to lap 28, we're on the back now then of Lance Stroll, who has also made the one-stop work here then, and we'll see if we can do the same thing as we did to Norris then and both get through here then, and well, get ourselves, one of us at least, onto the podium here and maybe put a late charge on Red Bull. Well, we certainly need to get the move done sooner rather than later here then. Charles hasn't done it, but we've seen a gap at the inside and we barged our way through then. Charles didn't want to give us that one then, he turned in on us, but we've managed to make it stick then. We're up into 4th position, and that one may not have gone down too well then. Obviously it's Charles who's leading the championship at the moment. We are still just about hanging on to, well, a chance of it then in the drivers' stand-ins, but yeah, we saw the gap though. Charles didn't make the move, he left the door open, and yeah, we went for it. Yeah, he certainly did not want to give us that one then. Meanwhile, if you're wondering where the Mercedes have gone, well, they're still in this train led by Romain Grosjean. So yet again, it's another race where Mercedes have completely messed up in terms of strategy. They were in a good position, 1st and 3rd on the grid, and they're going to get barely anything once again just this season. I mean, it did look like they had turned it around, but no, it's once again completely fallen apart for them, and once again we're in with a good chance of opening up the gap once again. But really we want to also halt Red Bull here as well then, and that's why we've got to get this move done then on that Stroll. I tried to maybe force him a little bit wide there in the hopes that Leclerc would also follow us through there, but that didn't quite work out. But nonetheless then we are up into 3rd place, but 3 seconds behind Albon, so hopefully we will have enough time here then to ruin the Red Bull 1-2 here. We are catching up to Albon very quickly then, as we are on lap 33 now then, so we've probably got 2 chances here then down the pit straight in this race then to get the move done and move ourselves up into 2nd position here, as we've got DRS then, but I think we're just a little bit too far back this time around, so I think we're just going to need to have the perfect lap here then, try not make any mistakes behind Albon here in the dirty air, and just get as close to him as possible here and just really set ourselves up for this move then down the pit straight, and hopefully then we'll be close enough to make the move stick this time around then. This will be surely our last chance, because there's not really anywhere else that we can make the move in the lap then, as we are very close to Albon then this time round. The penultimate time then through a final corner, we've got DRS and we've got everything turned up, and it's going to be all or nothing then for 2nd position. Down towards turn 1, we go for it on the brakes, we're up the inside, and it looks like we are through then up into 2nd place. Albon's going to fight back on the exit, but we've got DRS once again then to pull away, and we're up into 2nd position on the final lap here. So we managed to put a little bit of a dent then in the Red Bull charge today then, and that could well be crucial for us then in the Constructors' Championship as well here then. As we see the move, we're a bit deep on the brakes there, but just with the 2nd dose of DRS there, we managed to extend the gap back out once again. But yeah, that's it then for this race. We're going to be 2nd place, which I think is a little bit unexpected, because it was certainly Red Bull who got it right with the strategy today then, but we managed to still recover a very good result here then. Around the final corner, it's 2nd place in Hungary.
Great work. Well done. We're really happy with the podium here.
It's a performance to be proud of today from our Hungarian Grand Prix winners. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
Has to be said really that Max Verstappen and Red Bull there really outplayed everyone else in this race. Obviously Verstappen got moved on Hamilton at the start, and then, well, Red Bull just got everyone with that strategy there, doing a one-stop from very early in the race there, going on hard tyres and managing to keep everyone else behind. And of course they did the same thing with Albon as well. He was only 7th on the grid, but he got a podium from it as well then. It was a 2-4 then for Ferrari, so that's helped us in the constructors there. A strong weekend there for Stroll as well, and so for Norris as well. Grosjean gets his first points of the season in 7th. Lewis Hamilton's the first Mercedes there in 8th position, followed by the 2 Renaults there then who round out the points. Yet again, Valtteri Bottas has not scored points. I've lost count actually of how many times that's happened this season. I think that's at least 4 non-scores he's had this season so far. And looking further down then, Kimi Raikkonen in the Alfa Romeo was the only retirement then from today's race. In the driver's standings then, Charles Leclerc has reopened the gap back out again then to Lewis Hamilton. It's now 16 points, so it's looking a little bit better for him once again. Verstappen then just 2 points behind Hamilton, and then we are just 25 behind our teammate then. So there's 4 drivers within a race win here then heading into the summer break, and then obviously Spa after that. Perez then 5th, but he didn't score points today. Neither did Valtteri Bottas then. He's down in 8th, and it's looking like it's going to be very unlikely now that he will retain his driver's title. Albon then, with 2 consecutive podiums then, is finally starting to save his season then, moving up to 9th there. Looking further down, Romain Grosjean's points today then mean that every driver has scored points then this season after only 9 races, which really just goes to show how crazy it's been. In the constructors, things are looking a lot better for us now then. With 58 points clear, we've managed to open the gap right out once again then. Red Bull have finally overtaken their sister team AlphaTauri here then to move up to 3rd, and they're right on the tail of Mercedes now as well then. McLaren have overtaken Renault there, and Haas have overtaken Alfa Romeo at the bottom of the standings.
So that was an exciting race from our perspective. Let's have yours. You really cut your way through the field today. What was your strategy? You're surpassing all expectations. Can anything or anyone stop you? Do you have any comments about this team? Great. Well, that's everything.
We thought we may have made the wrong decision with our rivalry, but I mean, if Mercedes keep on bottling it like they have today and like they did earlier in the season, we may still have a chance then, because we've clawed it back then today, managed to bring the gap down to 3 points there, and we gained a chunk of a claim there as well then, almost getting up to level 13 with today's result. So yeah, once again then, things are looking not too bad for us in both championships. There's still a very good chance that for a team at least that we win both of them, but obviously for us personally we want to still try and take the fight to Charles if we can. Obviously now we've got the summer break then, but after that we've got the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa, which often gives us some very good races, so hopefully it'll be another good one this time. Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, really appreciate a like on the video, and hope to see you next time.